All right. Welcome, everybody. The 30-second timeout on the getting silenced that quickly, huh? I even made it more lenient, but I guess I didn't make it more lenient towards symbols, just towards caps. That's fine. I think it can stay Iron Fist towards towards emojis. I think that's fine. Yeah, I just specifically made it more harsh towards you. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right. So, welcome back to Three Crowns, everybody. It was quite an interesting session last time.
Oh,
Oh,
Nice.
sorry, you guys can't see that yet, but you'll see eventually.
Wow.
So, previously on Three Crowns, the party made a deep dive into hell, specifically the infernal circle of Agramoth, which is the circle of dominance and control. And so, as they made their way into hell in order to try to find the fiend, the devil that had opened the hell gate that was causing a impending invasion for the island kingdom of Minomir. The party went through and fought their way through Lord Ozra's military camp, his forward camp for the invasion into the mortal plane, and managed to fight their way into his reclusive manor and all the way into his innermost chambers, which turned out to be a sort of pocket dimension of his own making, where the party turned down a deal to join Lord Ozra in exchange for their lives and decided to face him in combat. And so, after fighting Ozra in a drawn-out and brutal battle, they just barely managed to defeat him. And as his pocket dimension began to collapse, they made their escape alongside one of the fiends in Lord Oz's army, who they'd made a pact with in order to receive some assistance. And so as they are spat back out the other side and back into Ozra's manor, the party has one goal left ahead of them. They need to find their way out of hell, but first they need to figure out how to conduct the ritual they were given by Pavlova in order to close the gate from this side, which of course, since the gate must be closed from both sides, that means that someone has to stay behind. And so that's where we'll return to Ozra's chambers as the party are spat out by the portal and back into this eerie private study. So, as the four of you plus Sooty plus Disrael are spat back out and are no longer in the collapsing pocket dimension of Lord Ozra, you nurse your injuries, some of them rather grievous, and must decide your course forward. What do you do?
all right. Let's get right into it. Who's staying?
Is that an actual question or?
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Gotta
Oh,
face
okay.
the reality sometimes.
That's easy. I am.
No,
What do you mean no?
you'll die.
No. Wow. Confidence in me. You have none. No, I'm the only one who doesn't have someone waiting for them on the other side.
Nope.
I can tell you who it
Mm.
will be. It's between me and Kaj. So we're deciding between that.
What?
You
I
okay with
don't
that, Gil?
understand.
I'd rather no one have to go. To be fair.
Well,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
but-
ideal.
I mean, obviously. But
facing the music eventually.
if college stays, I'm staying.
No, you're
No,
not.
you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Nope.
Agree to disagree. I'm pretty sure we all can agree. You're not going.
I'm not going. I'm staying. Exactly.
No, you know what I mean.
Why don't we
Just
figure out how to get to that position first?
Yeah, do we have the ritual still? Do we know where else to do it?
Yes. Do you not remember?
Mm-mm.
Well, I guess then I'll be the one doing it because I do.
I read it too.
There we go.
We all read it,
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely all read it.
but clearly some of us remember it and some of us do not.
Oh shit, I could recall if I tried. Disrael. Does Tibbs staying here mess with your guys' contract at all?
Our
shouldn't.
contract is only applicable until it's completed. I've already assisted you with my end. All that remains to seal the pact and undo it is for me to pass through the Hellgate.
Okay.
Yeah, so that doesn't affect anything.
Cool. Well, either way, we should get some rest before we go out there, just because we just killed the king, you know? We don't know
Yeah.
what's going on out there.
Are we safe here to do it?
I mean, it's not like they can get in.
Yeah, but this place is kind of creepy.
It is.
All right, let me listen to myself for a second. Testing. Oh yeah. What the hell? You're right. What on earth?
It's
Very strange.
Puppy, puppy, puppy.
puppy.
Testing. Yeah, that is popping. What the hell? And just to confirm, chat end of things. Stream, you can hear that too, right? You should be able to, but just to confirm. All right, let me reach it. Let me try some stuff. I'll reboot some software.
I think that's the first time I've ever rolled a 100.
It was funny.
That's pretty good.
I've rolled one once, but someone on their first time of playing D&D rolled a 100 and got a 100. I was like, yeah. They're like, well, I'm never doing it again because it's all downhill from here. And I'm like, okay.
Fair enough.
Testing.
Really?
Testing. Any more popping? I'm speech jamming myself because I'm listening to myself.
Sounds good for.
Sounds good so
Yeah,
far.
it sounds fun.
Seems to be better. So let me know if it happens again. I think it's just probably a small glitch that needed a reboot. All right. So where were we then?
I think we're trying to rest here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very
I mean,
well.
I have
Yeah,
the
you
key
wanna-
to the gate, so
You want to
Yeah,
take
we
a long
can
rest
do
then?
Yeah,
long rest.
Preferably.
we're
Well,
all
I
backed
mean,
up.
I can go with short, but. Oh, nope. Hit dice. No, I can't.
Yeah, short's not going to help me.
Yeah, very well. If you want to long rest, then you can find a place to do so in this a little bit unnerving chamber.
And just move away from the skulls.
Is there anything that anybody wants to do as they kind of settle in to try to get some rest? Anything that you want to accomplish in kind of the half an hour to an hour as you try to fall asleep?
Mm,
Zero's gonna move slightly closer over here, casually, and then trying to detect thoughts on Disrael.
All right, very well. Yeah, you use your bracer to attempt to glean any sort of surface level thoughts off of Disrael. For reference, she goes and sits in the corner, kind of away from you guys, and she leans up against this piece of twisted metal here in the corner, kind of removing her sword from her side so that she can sit properly, and then kind of almost like hugging it as she kind of sits against it. And from the surface level thoughts that you get, you get a sense of emptiness. Zero.
Hmm.
Where maybe before there was purpose and there was goals and there was orders, there's just nothing left. Not anger, but also not joy, just nothing at all.
Okay. Yeah, he's not gonna delve further. It seems to satisfy him.
Very well. Anybody else want to do anything before you go to sleep?
No.
nope.
Gail?
All
Yeah, it was a
good.
big chillin'.
Just in the center of the room.
Yeah.
Big chillin'. He's done. He don't care. He's got a nap. It's exhausting.
Very well. Yeah, you lie down on top of the skulls embedded into the cobblestone and take a nap.
I like to imagine him walking in a circle like a cat or something, like finding a spot.
Yeah, you gotta find a spot where the skulls aren't too lumpy. Very well then. So each of you eventually, it's kind of not the easiest sleep of your life. Takes a bit to drift off between pain of injury and just the unnatural environment in which you stand. But eventually, just from pure exhaustion of the fight that you just left behind you, you each manage to get some sleep. And as you awake from that slumber, you find your muscles stiff and not fully comfortable. You don't feel as though you've had a nice sleep in a lovely bed, but it's enough to restore some of your energy. So as each of you awaken, not to the warmth of the sun, but just from your own natural body's rhythm, you pull yourselves up from your resting spots, gather your things, and what do you decide to do next?
Is there anything useful here we need to take, Cal?
I don't think so. Not in here. If I remember correctly, there wasn't really much of anything.
Mhm.
Did we ever figure out, like, was this doll like a?
Oh, the doll's in Zeru's pack.
Was it Zeru, was the doll that was here? Was it like a voodoo doll of someone we know?
Yeah. It was Bishop.
Oh, it was Bishop. Oh, that's right. Okay, that should be fine. I was kind of hoping it was someone else.
Why?
Maybe it'd be easier to, like, what's her name again? Mila Mill, the fortune teller.
Lila?
Oh, Isla.
Mila. Yeah, maybe it was. I was kind of hoping it was her. You know, be like, oh, fix it all, fix the problem.
No, closing the gate will fix that problem.
Hopefully.
Are we going?
Yep. Disrael, what should we expect out there? Would they be able to tell that we to carry him?
Yeah, she approaches your group. She's refastening the sword to her belt, and she thinks for a moment and says, "Well, in truth, I'm not certain. Fiends are unpredictable. With Lord Ozra's death, anything could happen. If a new leader rises, they may follow them. If not, then infighting and bloodshed." I would not
I
let
guess
your
we just-
guard down, regardless.
Yeah, let's try to get there quick.
Yeah, you going with?
Yeah. -30. The fuck is that?
Oh, oh, you're talking about in your little bubbles?
Yeah, you nerfing me? What's going on here?
Yeah, that's the permanent debuff to all your damage for the rest of the. No,
Plain
I
fine.
type little things. If you notice little ones and stuff like that, those are usually me marking your death saves so I can remember them. And if you
Fucking
see a
hell.
-30 like that, that's me marking if you're up or down in feet. So that was when you were falling. I was marking your feet just so that I can reference it without having to constantly ask you guys. Are you 10 feet up or 20 feet up or what? So when you tell me the first time, I mark it down. So you gather your things and venture back through Hell Hall. We're getting used to the new page thing. It's pretty cool, but we're getting used to it. You can put stuff in folders now. Imagine that.
Neat.
Now there's a feature we should have had 20 years ago. So as you make your way back through Ozra's manor, once again those eyes are still firmly shut, and the hall seems to be as you left it, with the magma fountain still bubbling and crackling away in the center, but no signs of any other creatures.
Do we have to go back to the portal we came in?
I mean, that's where we would close it.
Mm-hmm.
I know we should just automatically close.
No, you don't.
We'd all be stuck here.
You'd all be here. And Gale, you're going with?
Yeah.
So, you make your way across the hall and back to the towering door, set of doors that makes up the entrance to the manor. They're still closed and locked tightly as you left them. And so you make your way back out into the manor yard. As soon as you make your way back out into the yard, you look around. You don't see any fiends or creatures lingering in the yard. But as you just sort of spend a moment there and start to walk towards the lava bridge that leads towards the other islands, you can hear noises in the distance, which would be immediately discernible as steel clashing against steel, metal on metal noises, as well as the odd shout in the distance.
I can start early then. Okay.
We can walk
Um,
around them.
Yeah, I guess we
wonder
could try
if
to
I
sneak
should-
around them.
I was thinking maybe I should be Liaz for this, but then I was like,
Absolutely not.
yeah.
Wait up. Once everybody gets close enough, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace.
Very well.
Just try to avoid any more fighting, yeah.
Okay.
Does that include infighting?
I think we have some of that still left to do.
Yikes.
All right. So shrouded in Kaj's magic, you make your way across the lava bridge, and as you make the long walk back across the lava bridges towards the central island, which you recall to be the prison yards, you can actually start to hear some of that clanging die down as you travel. And by the time you reach there, the scene you see before you. Is this. As you approach the towering walls of the prison island and walk, kind of just arrive at the base of that arch that leads into the prison yards, You can see that there are bodies strewn across the ground, and that black fiendish blood spilled across these stone and bricks. Most central to the action is one of Ozra's lieutenants, Bacchus, who is now seated on one of the tables in the center of the prison yard, leaning kind of all of his weight on it, and you can see it kind of grown a bit under his weight. And as he leans against it, he is just chewing on a piece of decayed meat and surveying the carnage that fills the yard.
Is this a way around? Like, can we see out that far?
There are these tall iron walls that kind of block the island from the lava versus the yard. So the islands themselves are kind of like elevated up above the lava by about 20-30 feet. So it's a drop down into lava. But around the very outside, there is a bit of a rocky escarpment that looks a little treacherous, but big enough that you could probably climb if you wanted to sort of climb around the walls rather than going through.
I'm gonna nudge Zaru and Tibbs. I'm gonna point it out.
I can go first.
Yeah, we can try it.
Zara, as you glance into the prison yard, you see a familiar figure. You see the barbed devil that ran the forges, the one that you promised the one that your group promised a rise in station in exchange for assistance, is lying flat on his back with Bacchus's weapon firmly embedded into his chest, and he is not moving.
Zara just smiles.
Is gonna try to ease away.
Dizzy's just going to spread wings and fly. She flies low so that she's under the wall, but she's just going to fly.
Must be nice.
What to do? I'm gonna hold my breath and levitate. Just slowly go across.
Very well.
Act like I'm swimming.
Yeah, you kind of press your backs to the wall, to the tall iron walls, and sidle your way across, occasionally kicking stones that clatter their way down and disappear beneath the bubbling magma. But there is enough space for you to sidle along, though it's not the largest path. There's enough space, and so eventually you find yourselves on the other side of the prison yards, where again you can look out and see sort of an assembly of fiends from this angle. The ones that were being tormented, the Muirs being tormented, are still being tormented by the prison yard master. But some of the fiends that seem to rally under Bacchus are all kind of gathered up in a group. Seems like they may have been a part of this fray. And in low voices, inaudible, they seem to be talking amongst themselves. But you turn away from them and head south. Am I correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
Very well. Then you make your way across the lava bridge towards the far island where the Hellgate awaits. And as you arrive on this smaller island that lacks the towering walls, you can see all the way across at the far end of the tiny isle is the Hellgate. It's sort of trapped between these tall metal spires, but the portal itself once was this kind of spinning, perfect circle made entirely of like this red hot flame, almost like superheated metal. It now looks like it crackles and wavers as you approach it. Clearly, no longer as stable as it was before.
Okay.
Shouldn't we tie her up? Because if she goes through and doesn't have like chains on or something, they're gonna kill her.
She can go in with me same time.
I think they still might kill her.
Then I can kill them. Just kidding. I wouldn't kill them. But
Sarah looks at you very surprised. Like,
But the point is, if I tell them, don't worry about it, she's my responsibility, they'll listen. If they don't, then I might have to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they will if they listen.
Disrael staying close to Gale and listening to him is going to be very good for your health on the other side.
All right. Very well.
What do you plan to do?
What, me?
No, Disrael.
I
I guess you too if you're staying with her.
Oh yeah, Dizero, proposition for you. When you go through, you're going to be with me, and help me find other devils that are on the other side.
Also, hopefully find a way to get whoever has to stay behind right now out.
Tib's gonna lean over to Kaj. Talk about a third wheel, am I right?
He got what he asked for.
I suppose I never had plans for the other side. I mostly focused only on myself and making it through.
I was more just asking out of curiosity. I don't think you'll do anything bad. Well, and Gail, you got all the stuff you need?
Hmm?
You got everything you need here?
Not yet.
I mean, we kind of have to discuss, like, Zero, are you actually, like, you are going to try and at least come in through the gate, right? Like, we're all going to just jump in all at once, right?
What? No, you have to do the ritual.
Someone has to do
Right.
the ritual closing, right?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
what-
here. Zara's gonna hand you one of the chains.
One of?
Oh, you want both?
I want all of it, please.
Ah, fine.
You're not going to need it if you're staying here.
I do need it if I stay here. If I
Not
pretend to
staying.
be one of the. Okay, whatever. Here, he's gonna give both of them to you.
Woo!
What do you think, Tibbs?
Don't suppose you need that heart either.
No, I kind of want that.
Why? Are you going to use it?
Maybe.
How are you going to use it? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
you
if you're not coming, you don't need the heart.
All right, fine. Zara's gonna hand it over.
Very well.
I was hoping that would convince you to just come, but sure.
They're gonna make this difficult.
I
Yeah,
know.
and they're not gonna go if you don't go. So
And
Think
you
that
can just
answers
carry
that.
them out, yeah.
maybe, but
So, can
kind of
we
gotta
at
hear
least
them whine about it.
can we not like try and have us all go through, or do we really like?
Someone needs
Someone
to
has
do
to do the ritual on this end.
man.
Yeah.
Right,
Otherwise, this goes to-
But I'm saying like do the ritual like as you're jumping through.
And then just no, that's you can't do both at the same time.
You won't know until you try.
I do know. I've read
Have you
what it
tried
was.
before? Have you been through hell?
I've read how it works.
You were given
Yeah.
You read how it works.
written instructions by your research team
Yeah.
Mhm.
and-
on how to do it. Though I don't
Sure,
know.
but-
Was it Zara who got them?
No, she showed
Somebody-
it to all of us.
Sure, to all of us,
okay.
yeah.
She showed it to
Yeah,
all you. Okay,
specifically all of us,
very well. Then.
just in case any of us died.
Yeah, but rules are meant to be broken. So like, why not? Why can't we break these?
Magic is magic. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it just
You
works.
can
Do you
do a
have a trick
lot
in
with
mind, Gil?
magic. What?
Do you have a trick in mind?
Um. Let me think about it. No. Mm. So, all right. So the ritual, because I was definitely paying attention. I'm just making sure that you guys remember. With it, is if the person who's casting it or speaking the ritual, they have to be the ones that say, right? It can't be like, let's say, I don't know, one person says it, but there's another body that's there in place. Like like let's say Tibber says the words, but there's a second body, second person who's just kind of standing there, not responsive. Do they take the place, or does it have to be like the person speaking?
Well, they would
It's
still
gotta
be
uh,
left here anyway.
Huh?
Yeah, it needs to be performed on this end to collapse it.
Sure. So we have to be through entirely before we do it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, if you want to
Unless
be,
you want to die.
if you want to be
then
in
yeah.
between planes when the Hellgate
when it
collapses,
closes.
that's a choice you can make, but I wouldn't
That's,
recommend it.
That's too risky.
It is tempting.
Yeah, but if you stay
It
here,
sounds fun, but
fun.
Yeah, it's a good
Well,
I don't know.
you know.
Warped. Oh,
Out
Just
of
got
your
just because you
hands.
got a tail the first
last time,
Okay,
so
I feel like we got lucky though.
Mm.
Something tells me we got lucky.
I wasn't
did.
affected, so maybe it could work. Maybe I could be like protected.
Feels like
Well, we don't know
something
what
big enough
happens
that
to
we
it.
shouldn't be just.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at least if someone stays here, we know they're here, not wherever you end up if the portal
Yeah.
collapses.
Disrael, can you do you have the ability to persuade like a minion to do the cast?
So
I
we
don't have any minions in Ozra's army. I was a slave.
No, I mean like we just pick up like a random like imp or something.
It's like a little guy.
Yeah.
Can they speak the stuff needed?
Can we trust them to close it?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know
if
that
we-
any fiend would close a Hellgate to
not without
material
being-
plane.
Sure, unless they're deceived, right? Like trick them into closing it, make them think it does one thing and it does the other.
Well, this is a forward camp for an invasion. All the fiends in this area are well aware that this is a Hellgate. And most lesser fiends would lack, well, both the ability to open and close one.
What if we like lied and was like, oh yes, here's an incantation to make it larger, to expedite the process.
I'm not sure they would believe you.
This sucks, and all you are not being very cooperative.
Oh, we gotta knew what we were getting into when you walked in here.
Exactly.
Let's not make this difficult.
Mm,
I'll stay. Come on.
you really want to stay, Tibbs?
No, I don't want to.
Tibbs.
None of us
Food
want
here is
to.
gonna suck.
Yeah, but I can handle it.
I can also handle it.
You're not staying
Yeah.
there.
I can handle it. I
Why
can
not?
immediately go
Why not?
back. What?
Why can't I handle this? I'm older than all of you.
What does age have to do with anything?
Also,
I've lived
barely.
a longer life. Barely.
You got much more to go.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
plan on dying here. This
I
place
Yeah.
fucking
don't plan
sucks.
on dying here either.
Sounds like you do.
Mhm.
What makes you think that?
Why else would you bring up your age?
Because I think that wisdom comes with age.
Looks like your wisdom score.
Don't look at that. You're cheating.
I wouldn't think too many things in hell rely on wisdom.
No, but it relies on wiles, and I have been relying on that for most of my life.
But it didn't work here. What you had.
That would be
We saw you try to use it.
That's because I wasn't myself.
Mm.
Not a good argument.
The thing about my personas, they take a mind of their own. It's not normal for them to do it. It's just, I don't know. But if I stay myself, I'll stay in my mind.
Can any of them take on the persona of being strong?
What do you mean? Strength
You'd
comes
get
in
eaten up
different
alive
forms.
here.
Strength comes in different forms.
He just looks at Kaj.
Okay. Way to be alone here. If I stay, I've got City, I've got Hestia. I'll lean on.
But we need you to go through and to make sure Wyla's okay. I can't help
Also-
her.
Counterpoint.
Mhm.
I don't have to rely on anything to be okay here.
Same.
Mm. Are you sure? I'm worried about what this place would do to you mentally.
I'm not saying it'll be good. I'm not saying I'll be fine, but I know I can make it through.
Yeah, I mean, healthy, you'll make it, but what's this place gonna do to you, Tibbs?
It'll fucking ruin any of us.
It
Not me.
can't ruin me.
Probably
You're,
won't work.
you're not in this.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Right.
Gil would be a good candidate, but you were absolutely a gigantic target.
True.
Yeah,
This
Gale can't stay, unfortunately.
Sorry.
I'm not letting any of you stay here alone.
Kaj,
Hmm?
if you go back, what would you do?
Well, whichever one of us goes back, we just have to find out how to get the other one out.
I'll tell you if I go back.
Mhm.
Not doing a lot.
What do you mean?
You have a lot
can't
of
go
kids
and-
to take care of.
Not mine. Not to mention, I can't go scouring manuscripts, reading these books on how to do it.
And so you'd work with Gil.
Realistically, the person who stays has to be the dumbest.
What?
That's
Because everybody
not
who
true.
leaves, the smarter they are, the faster they can find a way to get back here.
But what if the way to get back's in here?
Then you guys can come back. And I would have been here. And I can go and talk to that fucking pig. And I can have a job. I can help him.
Hmm. You're not going to make any bad deals, are you?
No, I already made one, and well, it wasn't too bad, but that'll be done. I don't see any more deals I could make.
Hmm. No tips. You're not
Look,
going to be the same when you get out of here.
Look, I don't want to say, but I see no way any three of you could handle it.
I don't agree.
I also don't agree.
I don't care what you think.
So boring.
Let's flip a coin.
I'm staying.
You're
not staying.
not.
Yes, I am. It doesn't matter which one of you decide to stay. I don't think you should, because I'm staying.
You're
No,
not.
you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Do you have a coin on you?
No, I don't have any money.
I got a soul coin. Here you go. Or sorry, I don't know what that is. I got a weird coin.
Actually,
I have nothing anymore to tie me back there.
you
So
got
I'm
us.
perfectly fine here.
Don't be
Everything
singing
I
all that.
own,
That's
You-
a zero
No, no.
angle.
I don't want to die, but everything I own is on me now, and I can use it to the best of my abilities.
We still need a coin.
Here you go.
I don't think we should coin flip.
Why not?
I just think you should go.
I think you should go.
I don't like this.
There's no angle where you don't go and Zero goes.
We can make zero.
No, I'm not going. You guys don't understand.
And Zare's staying if you stay too.
I'm staying no
They're
matter
not staying
what.
regardless.
Yeah,
I
they're not
have
staying either
to.
way, but that's what they're saying.
I have to stay.
You don't, and you're
I
not.
do. I will.
You're not.
Gil, do you have any more of those coins?
Just one. Here you go.
Just one? Okay, because big man back there was willing to get one of us out for one of these, so maybe someone else can. If not that, then this can probably buy either of us some safety over here.
I mean, I have one.
I don't need to buy safety. I could go get it for free.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be easy, but I can still do it. I mean, he beat up the other person. He's the only one left, right?
You know, he beat up that other person probably because I told him to.
Okay.
I have abilities here.
Just flip the coin.
No, you don't.
All right. Flip.
We didn't
Heads.
call it.
All right. Yeah. Do you
Okay.
want to do an
Why
actual
would I
roll?
call it?
Roll a d2, and each of you pick one or two.
I picked heads already. Was that one?
I just had.
Am I rolling it?
Doesn't
Who's
really
rolling?
matter. Just decide
I feel
amongst
like,
yourselves.
I feel like
what's what.
heads is evens.
Yeah,
All right, 2.
All right.
Tibbs it is.
The roll is 1.
all right.
It's the best way it can be. I expect to be saved. So the longer you fuckers take, the angrier I'm gonna get.
Exactly.
But I'll be fine.
Because I'll be here with you.
No, you're not.
I am going to be here. Zero just backs up a little bit.
Hey Zero,
What?
can you roll a wisdom save for me?
Ah, you son of a bitch. -1.
It's not a very big save, so
It's big enough.
Not one, bringing that to 0.
just start.
Yeah,
dragging.
Sarah, you feel your body go completely rigid, and you are unable to move.
All right, let's go.
Thank you, Gale.
Grab him.
Yeah.
How do I contest this?
Well, you are a hold personed.
You
Yeah, how
can-
long? For how
At
long?
the end
You're-
of
What
each
do I do?
Minute.
turn, which is 6 seconds,
6 seconds. So every 6 seconds, I can do what?
roll again a wisdom save.
Oh God, it's not gonna work.
Better get going, Gil.
Yeah, let's get going. We don't have very long for the spell. We'll come back as soon as we can. All right, Tibber, try not to fucking die. I'll be pissed.
I won't.
Israel, do you know how to deal with gates? Like, come back in or something?
If I were well versed in travel between the planes, I'd have left already.
That's fair. All right. Well, guys, get over here.
Yep. Hey,
Alright,
Tibbs. Leave. Can I
Yeah.
get a wisdom saving check?
Ooh.
Spellcasters for the win!
Ooh, I think you got it. Yeah,
Not
it's a
this
meat.
time.
Worth a shot.
It's okay.
All right, don't you get killed now. I'm coming.
All right.
Sarah's endless wisdom saves.
They're all failing.
Toss it.
Bye-bye.
Toss your body in.
Fucking awful.
Wait, I'm gonna reach into Zari's pockets and
Oh.
try to find the soul coins really quick.
Oh. Yeah, here. I'll toss the coin.
Yeah, I'm gonna toss them over to Tibbs.
Yeah, here you go.
Hey,
buddy.
thanks. No, I'm not poor.
No dying.
Yep.
We mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
plan to.
Oh, here, take this too. I'll throw the ring of mind shielding.
Thanks. Can you guys leave now,
We're
please?
just taking all of the stuff. All right. Yeah, let's
Sarah's
throw.
fucking out of it. Sarah's fucking out of it.
You're already pushed through. Shut
No.
up.
Already pushed through. We're good.
Fuck.
Yeah, I would say 1, 2, 3,
Fucking rolled
4,
so
5,
many,
6,
dude.
7, 8,
Fuck outta
9.
here.
I counted every single 6 seconds I tried.
Motherfucker, you literally. No, get out of here.
Literally.
I would say-
every-
I will say 9 wisdom saves is quite a lot. So you had plenty of chances to get out of it. I will say that they managed to push you through.
They were talking for a long time, is all I'm saying.
Bro, I got
know,
another
I know,
spell
but
slot. Get
but
out
you
of
made
here.
you made quite a lot of saves. So I
Every
think
6 seconds.
I think it's fair enough that. Yeah, but we don't always operate under the exact time constraints in D&D.
Boo.
Looks
Ooh,
like we
I
won't just
see.
do it to you again.
Boo, I see.
Right.
Yeah, you made quite a few saves. Had you made one of those early ones, perhaps, but 9 saves later, I think the game has shown you that you are knocked through the portal.
Need a nat 20 for it too.
I didn't have to. Fuck you guys.
All right, buddy. Love you.
Love you too.
Don't talk to strangers. Brush
That's
your
all I'm
teeth.
gonna do. Oh.
Oh, how do you brush your teeth here? Okay, I won't think about it.
I don't do it back home.
You know, as soon as Zero gets on the other side of the portal, he's going back in.
Bro, will you shut up? You're not going.
He fucking will. He's going to.
Great. Roll another save. I'm going to cast it again.
Yeah.
No, you don't know that. You've already pushed him through. He's coming.
I know
back
how
through while
long my
you-
own fucking spell lasts. Get out of here. We'll roll it again.
You,
we start
you
the
have to
ritual?
see him. You have
Can
to
I do
see
the
him, and you wouldn't be able to
ritual?
see him.
I'm gonna command him to halt too. I'm gonna get to the side just in case kills doesn't work.
Fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god.
All
Making us use
right.
all these resources just
Oh my god, all these spell slots.
You
Just for this
fuckers.
fucking bitch.
So You say one last thing to Tibber as you turn back, and then face forward once more and dive through the Hellgate. And as you travel through it, you feel just sort of the very moment your body enters, Zero as well. You feel that same burning heat envelop you as if you've just been set aflame. Tibber, the last to enter the Hellgate is Disrael, who just for one last moment she kind of lingers just before she dives after Gale, and she turns back to you and she says, "For what it's worth, of all the pacts I've been in, my pact with you was the least miserable." And then she dives after Gale. And the three of them disappear. Now, Tibber, you also were given the instructions, and so you know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
First, you must carve some of the sigils into the base of the metal spires. And you can see that there are already some sigils kind of lining it, but in the detailed instructions that you were given, there are specific placements for each of these sigils that she's drawn up for you. And so you're able to discern exactly where you need to place them. And as you begin to sort of etch them in with, anything sharp that you have, you can see the other sigils begin to kind of glow as the Hellgate itself grows ever more unstable. A red lightning begins to crackle around it. The very metal that you're carving into begins to vibrate and shake. And you can hear it kind of creak and groan with each new sigil that you draw. And as you finally complete the last one that you were instructed, you see the glow of the sigils that were already carved into it fade suddenly, and the sigils that you carved glow this gentle blue. And that only lingers for just a second before the spinning red-hot circle implodes in on itself, and the metal spires on either side just explode into metal shrapnel, sending you diving for cover. And as you sit back up again, you see bits of iron embedded into the stone around you. And the Hellgate is no more, leaving you stranded in Agramoth. And so we will return to the others. So, everybody else. You tumble headfirst through a void as you feel that that burning sensation spread through your whole body, as if your very being is being torn apart and reassembled. And you feel, everybody but Gale, you feel that, and of course Disrael, you feel your very flesh begin to almost like smoke and sear as you fall. And just as you feel your skin begin to bubble, and your bones begin to creak as they warp out from under you. You feel Disrael behind you grab each of you in turn. Wings now spread, and she drags you faster through before your flesh can be warped once more. And so you are spat out, face first, rolling onto stone as your burning bodies collapse into the material plane once more. And so, Zero, as you hit stone, you hit stone hard, as you are frozen in place
Yep.
when you land. And so you smash hard. You're going
Also,
to take...
question, because I went through apparently a lot faster than the other people, or like earlier.
only a couple
Was
seconds.
okay, I was gonna say, was she there to help me?
Yeah, she basically caught each of you in turn, and she then went and caught up to the next person, grabbed them, caught up to the next person, grabbed them. So she grabbed each of you, and then you all went through at the end very hard. And so, Zara, you're going to take 10 bludgeoning as you smash down hard into the ground without anything to catch your fall.
Okay.
And the rest of you each kind of hit hard, but not quite as hard as Zara, because you're able to kind of roll and catch yourselves. But you all land on hard stone and look around. And in the chamber where you stand, you find yourselves back in the cavern where the Bandit King first helped open the Hellgate. It's still bathed in that red glow. But as you begin to regain your senses, and Zara, you feel feeling begin to return to your limbs. Each of you turn back around quickly to look at the Hellgate, which still next to it you can see Runica trying to kind of focus in and stabilize it. But as it begins to crackle, and you can see the very light on the floor where it was opened flicker and almost blur your vision as you stare at it. She quickly says, "I don't think I can hold it any longer. I think it's collapsing from the other side." And then she looks across, she counts 1, 2, 3, sees Disrael, and then looks to the closest person, who's Gel, and says, "Is this it? Is it closing?"
Yes, close it, close it.
Well, she doesn't so much as close it, but she just sort of collapses back onto the ground. And as she does, you see your end of the... Oh, sorry, you're still on the other page. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. You should be... The icon's different, so now my brain doesn't see it. It used to be a big red thing, and now it's a tiny little yellow thing. Alright, where's the right room? There we go. There we go. So Runica collapses backward onto the ground, and you see the Hellgate on the floor implode in on itself. And as it does so, there's one last brilliant flash of sickly red light, and then it all returns to stone as the carvings on the ground fade to just dull etchings, and the red light disappears.
Okay. I'm gonna help Zara up. All right, you being good now? All right.
Wow. Guess I don't want to talk.
Thank you, Runica. How long was that?
She's kind of breathing hard, and she's still like kind of lying, collapsed backward onto her back.
I go check on her.
And you check on her. It looks like she hasn't slept in days,
Mhm.
as it has been days.
There. Let's go. Start heading back. We brought a friend. Well, don't call her our friend, but we brought someone who let's try not to kill this one. Looks like they have a burning desire to take revenge on others, not us, but the ones that we fight.
Runica is still collapsed on her back, and you kind of help her sit up a little bit, but she's eyeing Disrael very warily. She's getting the same sensation that you did when you first ran into Disrael, which is sort of every fiber in your body wanting to just immediately draw your sword and attack. But she's far too exhausted to do so. She can barely move her own limbs, and so she kind of tried to reach for her sword at her side, but her hand just kind of falls flat onto the stone with a rattle.
She's agreed to help our cause, you and I.
She saved Gil's life, actually.
She did.
I believe you, brother. It's just
It's weird. Yep. I still want
she's
to
a
kill her.
fiend.
Yep. Still weird. Try not to think about it too much. Pav.
Yeah, Pavlova's kind of dusting you guys off, making sure that you're all right. Disrael herself is kind of like warily standing sort of at the edge of the group, not really getting too close to anyone. But Pavlova kind of runs over to you as you call her name. Well, it's closed then. And she kind of does a scan of the room. And then Tibber
Yeah.
stayed behind.
Mm-hmm.
We need to quickly try and find a way to get back. A little
Get
less
back
intrusive. We gotta go back.
to-
We gotta get him.
To rescue Tibber, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
But not like this. Not sacrificing bodies.
Yes,
Gotta
not
find her.
not this way, but I don't know of any other way.
We'll have to find one.
Well, of course I'll help.
We know. It's your favorite thing. Research.
She kind of gives you a sad smile.
It'll be alright. We'll get him. Better him than any of us, really.
He
That'll
is
be fine.
very strong. I'm sure he'll be all right until we get there, and can help him. Yes, he'll be fine. She kind of reassures herself.
Don't worry. I promise, on my oath, I'll do everything I can to get him. And I'm sure Kaj and Zeru will do the same.
Of course, we'll all help. She brightens up a little bit. From her place, kind of collapsed on the ground, Runica says, "You have my sword as well. Once I recover, of course."
Yeah, you kind of need a nap. Thank you, sister.
Her eyes are kind of like already closing. Yes, I think a nap do me nicely.
Yeah, looks like you all need rest.
Yeah, you actually, Kaz, you look around at the rest of the room as you say that. Everybody in here is covered in blood. Absolutely everybody except for Pavlova, who managed to kind of stay out of it. But you can see injuries and cuts, bandaged. Some people have like arms splinted, and the room itself is strewn with bodies, both fiend and mortal. Some of the soldiers you brought in, including one of your Kingsguard, lie dead on the ground. But the room is strewn with bodies of devils and fiends, all of which were sort of on the other side, the ones that had come through in the first wave. But they managed to fend them off and protect Runica long enough to allow you guys to leave, though it was costly.
I'm gonna wander and check and see if there's any wounds I can close up while I'm here.
Yeah, you kind of weave your way through the crowd, all of which look absolutely exhausted, and a little bit shaken, kind of everybody. You can see Sunrise, who also looks like she's not slept in days, still kind of just like desperately trying to patch up injuries on Riley here. Though she's not using actual bandages anymore, she's long since run out and is just patching it with her own clothing.
Oh man, it's all right. I got it. Get some rest.
She sort of like has not even registered that you're back yet, and she kind of like blinks and almost like flinches as you talk to her, and then she looks at you and goes, "Oh, good, another healer. I'm just a little tired."
You did great. I'm gonna give her cure wounds all over here.
Yeah, you see the slash marks on her arms and side kind of seal up the bleeding, slow and stop, and some of the scabbed over wounds close. She's still kind of covered in blood-soaked bandages, and she still looks exhausted, but she kind of looks up at you. When you approached her, she was staring down at the dead body of this Kingsguard. But she kind of looks up at you and she gives you like a sad smile and says, "Thank you kindly. I'll be all right."
I'm just kind of nod and head off and check everybody else.
Yeah, you check everybody else, including Finlane, who has his own share of injuries. He's done his own share of the fighting. And each of them has wounds. So, I don't know, you can heal them all if you want.
Yeah, I'll use up all I got.
And I've got some healing
Once a
hands.
bit for-
I can do a little bit of healing. But first I want to check on Sunrise. Make sure she's laying down or sitting down and resting.
Yeah, she looks exhausted, though she's not too badly wounded herself. She's got a few injuries, but not anything nearly as bad as everybody else.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep using up my slots going person to person.
Yeah, you go from person to person, and eventually arrive at Connell, who, when you approach him, he's closing the eyes of one of his soldiers, and kind of just muttering to himself quietly under his breath, a small little prayer. But as you look up at him, you realize that he's actually lost his eye patch in the struggle, and you can see this this nasty looking scar across his bad eye.
Mm.
And he looks up at you as you approach, and then he stands from the body he was kneeling next to, and says, "Is it done then?
It's done.
It's over then." And you kind of like see his shoulders kind of droop a little bit as he finally lets out a bit of the tension that he's kept in them.
You all did great.
It was not. It was not an easy few days, but from the look of you lot, it was not easy for you either.
No. Sorry it took so long.
I'm sure you all were doing your best. We've all our wounds to bear.
Right. Move on him.
Yeah, you move on and check that soldier. He's got a pretty nasty leg wound that you helped seal up. Zara, you made your way over to the desk that the bandit king had set up, and you are taking out Ozra's writings and beginning to read as you wipe your nose, yes, from smashing into the bricks.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you want to do?
Nope.
Very well. Gale, you check on Sunrise, make sure she's all right. You heal up a couple of her injuries, and then make your way over to the others to give Kaj a bit of assistance as he heals the rest of the group. Once you are finished that, Kaj and Gale, once you've kind of treated everybody, what do you do after?
Do you guys remember who has the stone? I think I might, but I do not recall.
I think it was you.
I think so too.
I think so.
Are you sure? I thought it was Tibbs.
I think Tibbs had it, and then he gave it to. I thought he gave it to Gaj.
At one
might
point,
have kept it though.
At one point, I could have sworn he did.
I mean, it's just an oversight of the players, so it's up to you guys if you wanted to have passed it off first. I don't really care either way.
Okay. In that case, yeah, I'll pull the stone. Reporting.
All right, yeah, you pick up the sending stone and call into it, and after a moment, you hear, "Have you something to report?"
The gate is closed.
You hear kind of like a pause and a very soft sigh of relief. Thank Amalena for that.
You can thank
We
Tibber
have-
for that.
Yeah, thanks Tibber for that. We have a lot of wounded here at the portal. Do you think we can have some transport?
Of course. I sent a detachment. The ones who traveled up to Kingscliff have already returned. And so the detachment headed your way. Should arrive in several days.
Days, okay. I'll see how everybody's feeling and see if we want to make a trip back, but they've been fighting here since we've been in the portal. It looks like it got bloody.
Aye, well, I sent soldiers and healers both, so...
Okay. We had to leave Tibber behind to close the portal from his side. Soon as I'm able, and I'm sure the other two would agree, we're gonna look for ways to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. And I concur. He made a heroic sacrifice, but it need not be one, if we can help it.
Right. I'm gonna snap and kind of try to get Gil's attention. And I'm gonna point at Israel. I would like shrug and like point at the stone.
All right. You ready for your walk of atonement? Path of atonement. Sorry, path.
Okay, I'm just gonna say, all right, that's all for now, and end the call.
Yeah, you end the call, and as you end it, Abel kind of reassures you that the detachment will be there shortly. to help you guys with any aftermath. And Gale, you make your way over to Dizrael, who's still kind of like standing around the corner of the group, not really entering in, sort of just silently watching you all. Pavlova seemed to have kind of like taken an interest, and she's kind of jotting down notes as she stands a relatively safe distance away. But you make your way over to Dizrael, and what do you say?
Ready for your path of atonement?
Atonement.
Well, I mean, it's not. I guess it's not really atonement, but to the people in this realm, you'd be atoning.
I see. I'm not sure that a fiend is capable of such a thing.
Well, no, until we try.
I suppose. As you look at her, make an insight check.
Oh, I'm great at these.
Kaz, you're there too, so you can make your own if you want.
15.
The both of you just get almost nothing from her face. She doesn't look happy about finally accomplishing what she had set out to do. She doesn't look particularly sad or regretful about it. She doesn't look angry at anybody in this room or like she bears any wrath toward any of you. She just simply stares at you, empty-faced. Sort of
All right.
blank canvas, if you will.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. He, yeah, Tibber didn't sacrifice himself for you to not come here just on a fucking whim. So I'm gonna need you to at least try and put some effort in figuring out what the fuck you're gonna be doing here. Because this is not okay. He did not do this and not make a pact with you for you to act like this. We're gonna need more from you.
She stares at you like she doesn't quite understand what you said. She kind of tilts her head to the side. Again, almost like a child who doesn't actually get what you said. She says, "He did this for me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he didn't do it because he wanted to stay. You understand that, right?
I understand that no mortal would wish to remain in Agramoth, but I thought he did it to close the Hellgate.
I mean, sure, that's part of it, right? Like, to stop the gate, but someone had to sacrifice themselves. He already made the deal with you, because, I mean, if we take a look at it from a logical standpoint, you would be the best bet. Putting your place on the line, because that's where you're from. It wouldn't bring any harm. But he didn't want to do that, because he made a deal with you. He put his faith in you. I'm sorry.
She kind of like she furrows her brow, and she just kind of like not angrily, but sort of in a confused manner. Faith.
Oh boy, this is gonna be difficult to explain. Kaj, I don't know how to improve my verbiage.
You'll help us get him back, right?
I suppose I've no knowledge of traveling between the planes.
Are you
But
willing to
Just
put
do
in-
what you can.
Yeah, just if you at least try to help us, I mean, that's all we can really ask for. Sorry, I was a little rude earlier. Got a little irritated and didn't realize that you're just not aware.
She kind of stares at you again a little bit blankly, like a child that doesn't understand. She says, "You were rude."
Kaj, do you want her? You want to take her? I don't want her anymore. She said. I'm kidding.
Well,
kidding.
yeah, you'll be fine.
But she does double back to what you said before. As you kind of stand there a little bit in silence, not sure what to say to her next, she doubles back and says, "As I said, I've no knowledge in traveling between the infernal circles and your plane, but I will say, my short time with you all has been..." She pauses and tries to find a word and ends up on strange. I can't quite describe it, but I suppose you all behave differently than the fiends I'm used to. And,
Yeah, that makes sense.
well, if you harbor no ill will toward me, then I harbor none towards you. And as I said before, I'm not sure what I even planned to do once I got here. I was more possessed by the act of it. But now that I'm freed of those chains, well, I suppose remaining with you all would be fine.
We'll take it one step at a time.
Sure.
And perhaps, though you lack the words to describe it now, if I do remain with you, you might help me to understand faith?
Sure. Better with actions than words, but sure. Yeah.
She nods as if she's like already taking notes. Very well then, I shall aid you.
Right.
And in
well,
return, you will teach me of faith. And she kind of holds out her hand as if she's making a transaction.
His hands are like up in the air, like, yes.
As you do that, she
We-
like pulls her hand back and kind of stares at it for a second and goes, "Oh,
For, first roll. Yeah, we don't deal in only transactions here.
oh,
So yes, we will. I will, but you can just take my word for it. You don't have to shake or be bound. Just like I won't expect to be you to bind by your words.
You see her like furrow brow in confusion and cock her head again.
Yep.
And she says, "For nothing."
Trust, if anything, which is
I don't
probably
know if
another
that-
thing not to teach you.
I don't know if that sits well with me, but I suppose for the time being, we can discuss it later.
Sure.
I'm gonna nudge Pavlov and be like, Miguel might need your help with this one, I think.
Yeah, Pavlov has just been like scribbling furiously in her book every time that Disrael opens her mouth. As you kind of glance over at her notes, Kaz, you can see that she's like got like 3 pages already written, and you can see kind of scrawled in just a couple like little excerpts. It's like transactional, and she's also written down "has wings?" question mark. But yeah, Disrael kind of remains around the edge of the group, but she does appear to have relaxed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna pat Pav's head and then head off towards her. And I'm gonna give them a quick cure wounds too for their.
He's gonna just bat your hand away.
Okay, and I'm just gonna healing word that. You find anything yet?
Nope.
Okay. Do you know who else we can ask?
Nope.
All right.
Sister, is there anyone who might know from our side or have been
I think she's
studied?
sleeping.
Oh,
Yeah, if you're asking Runica, she is. You turn back toward her and she is snoring.
dang it.
She's still like kind of like lying awkwardly on the stone, halfway on the steps, where she was left, and she's just fast asleep.
Yeah, we should let her rest for sure.
Yeah, I guess I'll ask her later. Well, should we start heading back, I suppose?
Mm-hmm. They do have people come and grab us, but is everybody okay to move? I'm looking at them. They're all still wounded and stuff, right?
Yeah, they're injured, but you've healed them enough that they're not like that badly off. And so they all kind of like haul themselves to their feet, and sort of gather up together.
Maybe we can find a wagon and I can horse again. There we go.
Sure.
Or we can find some real horses. That may be better.
Don't know where you're gonna find horses, but sure.
Okay, yeah, so I think we're. You said pickup wasn't coming for a few days still, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you said several days.
They're meeting us here specifically.
They just said they were riding toward you, so if you did want to head back, you might be able to meet them on the main road. But
Yeah, I don't want to make these people wait here for days for them. So yeah, I guess we'll try and find a wagon or something. We should probably clear the rest of the cave too.
well, yeah, as you kind of gather up the group and turn your attention back towards the door, the kind of wall and door that were fastened in place when you guys left has been like destroyed, knocked off its hinges, and the wall kind of broken in patches. And you gaze off down into the tunnel beyond, but you don't see anything. And as you kind of stare out, and as the others sort of gather up behind you, Connell comes to your side and says, "They stopped coming. We fought them for, well, days while you were in there, but none have come for the past few hours."
Yeah, when we killed the big one in there. From the looks on it, they turned on each other a little bit. So maybe it affected them on this side a little bit. I'll have to keep our guard up still, but
Very well. Keep our guard up, even if we are a little worse for wear.
Mhm. You got her, Gil?
Yeah, sure.
You coming there?
Let's go, Diz. I'm calling you Diz now, by the way.
Oh. I see. But that is not my name.
That's fine. We like nicknames.
She just cocks her head at you, doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
Finlay will help you with runic. Yeah.
Why? Because I'm weak?
No, because she's wearing a massive suit of armor. She's really heavy.
I would appreciate it regardless.
And so one by one, everyone kind of falls into the group. Just gonna move all the bodies out of the way so that we can copy the whole group. All right. Here we go. There's the gang. So you make your way along the cavern and out into the tunnels that lead towards the bunkhouse of Merkling Depths. There we go. That's a big group. And so as you travel, you eventually arrive in the massive cavern where you did battle against that great horned beast. But the caves are now dim. There's no longer that flame erupting from the ground beneath you. The very veins that were pulsing and throbbing in the earth now just dim fracture lines in the rock. There's still this kind of acrid smell in the air, mixed with the rust as you breathe it in, Gale. But the ground is just sort of covered in soot and ash as you wade your way through it and back through the bunk.
Those things are Gil.
Yeah, as
Should we
you all begin to travel back through the large hall, you can see that those Lemures, the same sort of creature as you'd seen in Agramoth itself, are still just kind of like flopping about in their sort of flesh puddles on the ground. They seem to be the only moving creature in the cavern, though.
Do we deal with those now, or what do you want to do?
We could probably just ignore them.
Oh, I'll ask Diz.
She kind of makes her way to your side and stares at the creatures. And says, Lemures, the least of us, I suppose you could describe them, forever kept in torment.
If we
They were
leave them here like
once-
this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
They were once like you. Hylix, I mean. Weak Hylix who made pacts with fiends they could not fulfill. And so, trapped in these forms. She kind of stares at them again. So I believe these ones, they are slow, lethargic, almost comatose. Perhaps the fiend with which they held a pact has been destroyed. If that is the case, then they would be mortal once more.
Okay.
You make your way over to the creature, and it is much sort of quieter and more lethargic, as she described, than it was before. Before, they were kind of gnawing at things that they found and kind of groaning and looking towards you as you walked past them. But now they're just kind of like leaning over, almost collapsing in on itself in its puddle. Just sort of letting out a little bit of a gurgle instead of a groan.
I guess I'm gonna Sacred Flame it until it stops moving.
Yeah, you Sacred Flame it, and it's not making any attempt to avoid anything like that. So it just sort of is enveloped in that bright, holy light. And you hear it make one last kind of guttural groan as it is burned up. And as it burns up, it just singes into ash and disappears. Make an insight check, Gosh.
Okay.
With a 24, that last guttural groan that you heard was not a groan or a grunt of pain. It was relief.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna walk ahead of everybody and get rid of those while I move.
What'd you find out, Push?
That seems like a release for them. I'll see that one and go and burn that one too.
Yeah, like the other one, you burn it up in holy flame, and you hear that same sort of last gasp of relief as it disappears.
If they're like us, Gil, do you think they still know?
Maybe they're trapped. Like they can see but they can't control. So maybe they're aware to some degree.
And then yeah, I'll Sacred Flame this one too.
Yep, and like the others, it burns up as well, leaving behind only ashes.
Yeah, seems clear.
Yeah, as you look around the chamber, you see no more lemures. You can move everybody so long as you're all willing to go that direction.
Cool.
Not that guy.
Yep.
You don't move. You stay put.
He's moving.
And so you make your way to the far side of this cavern and travel back along the tunnel to arrive at the other crossroads. The one that split off into a few different paths.
So
This
do we,
cavern's much like the other one, burned and covered in soot and ash, but no longer aflame. Though this cave is a little quieter without the gurgling of the lemures. What were you going to say, Gil?
Kaj, do you want to? Should we just go back the whence we came, or do you want to try and go through that?
The opening
That's
over here is a little bit closer, yeah.
I mean,
Is all this?
they probably have carts too.
That's true.
Was it ever cleared?
I saw a bunch of things in there before we left. I think I saw a few of them back there, though.
Yeah, you kind of scouted that room, Kaj, on your approach into Merkling Depths. And indeed, I can confirm that the creatures that were lying dead in the Hellgate chamber that your companions had killed did resemble the creatures that you saw in the hangar, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Is this food and stuff still actually here?
As you kind of make your way over to examine it, most of it is kind of either burned or like withered away as if it's sat there for a year.
Damn. Then yeah, I think we'll go up here then, try and find a cart.
Very well. Then you turn your direction toward the larger sort of hangar cavern where they had all of those wagons. And as you arrive, you find the cavern empty and quiet, though just as burned as the other one. On the far side, you can see some light from the tunnel on the very end.
What's the condition of these carts? Can I like go through and check, find the best condition one?
Yeah, you kind of weave your way between them, giving them a once over. And as you walk past this one, you notice that this one's entire right side is burned, kind of disintegrating the entire wheel. Probably not usable. You check this one, and there's just like a pile of festering corpses in it. Probably not the best idea. You make your way over to this one on the far end. That also has been quite badly burned, and then settle last on this one, which has a few kind of minor burns. Some of the wood on the side has kind of peeled off and fallen, but the wheels themselves are intact, which gives you a bit more confidence.
This one, Kosh.
Okay, well, I'm gonna look back and kind of see how big the group is. I can probably pull most of you.
Yeah, the group is rather large, but a decent amount of them are capable of walking on their own. So you could take turns. You don't need everybody to ride on it all at once.
Okay, cool.
I'll walk for sure.
All right, I guess I'm gonna horse then.
Very well. Forget what horse we used to be. Horse. I mean, this one's kind of the right color scheme.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you transform into a horse. As the others kind of see you milling about this wagon and they make their way over to it. And some of the more wounded members are kind of aided by the others as they pile on. Gail, you help Finlane move Runica up onto the wagon where she's still fast asleep. Lie her somewhere comfortable. But unless anybody else wants to get on, the rest will walk. Everybody else walking?
Seems like it.
You good to walk, Sunshine?
Yes, I'm all right. It seems that the others bore the brunt of most of the wounds.
All right. Zero, do you want to be on the cart so you can read?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's go, I guess.
I'll nod.
Very well. Kaj, Connell helps you strap yourself to the cart. Since it's a little awkward to do with hooves.
I'm
Trying
gonna
to do
nod.
it with his hooves.
I'm gonna nod thanks to him.
And then yeah, he kind of steps back, and everybody takes their place at kind of the side of the wagon. Gail, you help. Finlane will help you. You clear out some boxes as Connell is strapping Kaj to the wagon, and everybody's piling on, and creates sort of a path down the center where the wagon can travel. And once everybody's piled on and ready to go, Kaj, you give a big heave and kind of wrench the slightly rickety wagon from its spot where it had been sitting for quite some time, and begin to haul it along the stone cavern. And as you pull, everybody walks along beside you, and so the entire group makes their way towards the mouth of the cave. And as you haul the wagon back up and out of the cavern, you emerge out into the light. It appears to be maybe just past midday. Not quite into the evening yet. And as you look around at your surroundings, you see forests, though once where the forest was beautiful and green, it is no longer. But once where the forest was aflame with these unholy red fires, it is also no longer. You can see kind of a layer of soot and ash covering the grass and almost giving it a bit of a black and gray tinge. The trees themselves have been burned badly. Some still stand. There's still glimpses of green and yellow in the forest, but many of them have been sort of badly blackened, all of their leaves burned away. But as you pull the wagon up out of the cave and back along the path, there's sort of a very brief dirt road that kind of leads into the cave, but very soon you are just in sort of wild forest. But the fact that a lot of the brush has been burned away makes it a lot easier to maneuver the wagon. And so before long, you navigate your way back out onto the road. And as the wagon kind of slowly trundles along and the party you walk alongside. The closer you get to Tradewater, the more color is in the environment. The area surrounding that's been badly burned looks drab and sad, but the closer you get to Tradewater, you're reminded of the town that you protected as more and more healthy trees bloom up before you. And as you arrive kind of on a sloping hillside and look off, you can see the ocean stretch out and the little town of Tradewater, though quieter than it once was due to the circumstances surrounding. You can see kind of little ants in the distance bustle about occasionally through the city center. And so, unless anybody's doing anything on their journey, it'll take you maybe another 40 minutes to get back to town. And so, unless anybody wants to do anything particular on the journey, then you make your way back to Tradewater.
I'm just horsing around.
What's
I'm
that?
gonna be telling Sunshine stories. Tell her about how it went, and I was abused and bruised by a guy.
She kind of quietly, as you talk to her, she kind of quietly goes, you do know that my name is Sunrise, right? Or is that just like a pet name that you're using?
I'm just really bad with names. I'm
Large
sorry.
oof.
It's not. I'm not offended or anything. I just wanted to make sure.
No, I'll be honest. Tibber told me once that it was Sunshine, and so it's stuck in my head.
Oh, I see. It, yeah, sort of. First impression gets kind of lodged in there. It's hard to shake out. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Sonny.
Oh, don't worry. I understand. And Sonny is fine. You can call me that if it's kind of slips your mind sometimes.
Just kind of awkwardly goes into silence, though.
but you were telling me about your travels in well hell, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, it was all right.
Oh, I don't mean to have harshed the atmosphere. I do want to hear about it. I just
No. Yeah. Yeah. So, and he just kind of goes into detail
Yeah, you
about
launch
getting
back
beaten
into it.
and bruised, taken by a man, and how they met a wizard who was a piece of equipment, and a blacksmith. Don't give me that look. Yeah, I'm just going into detail about all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you go back through the entire journey, and you cover your infernal steel that you found and all that.
I make sure I make myself look real good, you know.
Of course. Yeah, she listens intently to your story, and occasionally throwing in a little comment and a little "Wow, really?" and all that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Does anybody else do anything on the journey?
Sarah's just reading.
Very well. You're reading particularly.
He's holding
the-
his knife, so he's got the blind sight, so he doesn't bump into anyone because he's still walking and reading.
Right. Yeah. So you're reading specifically the journal that you found, the stuff that you
Yeah, the
found
one that-
in Ozra's chambers in Hell, right?
Yeah.
Not the Bandit King's writings.
Well, both.
Yeah, you got them both.
He's
So
got both.
yeah, you just kind of pore over every word, looking for any sort of hint or clue as to a method to enter Hell. But it does seem that most of his writing is focused on this Hellgate, as he seemed to be obsessed with this invasion he was planning.
Hmm. Well, I mean, Zara's going to take notes on that too.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, as you read it, all of the descriptions that he uses for his Hellgate plans, they do all involve quite a bit of innocent death. And sacrifice. But the rest of you, you travel along, and eventually arrive back in Tradewater. Now, is there a destination in mind when you arrive? As you approach the outskirts of town and see people running about, completing their work? Where do you head? What's your heading?
I'm gonna drop off the cart back like near the church where we headed out from, and then I'm going to get Zare's attention so we can go check on Wyla.
Yeah, you drop the cart out by the church, and most of the people will remain there. But you kind of eye Zero.
Yep, Zero follows.
Gil, do you want to come too?
I'll make sure everyone gets off okay.
Did you want Disrael's presence? Because otherwise she's just going to kind of stand awkwardly near Gale. Not sure what to do.
Awkward. That's rude.
What do you think, Gil?
I mean, if you want to take them, take them. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I am the babysitter, but I'm not the babysitter. You know.
All right, Disrael. We're gonna go check on someone. Do you want to come with?
I suppose. I've no other plans. If you request my presence, I suppose I can accompany you. She kind of like
Okay.
glances at Gale, almost like waiting for approval.
He's a thumbs up. Do what you want.
She
Look at
actually
me.
kind of, as you say, do what you want. She kind of like pauses for a moment, as if she's never heard those words before. Oh. I suppose I shall accompany you then. She kind of turns back towards you two.
Okay. While we're heading over, I'll explain to Wyla to Diz the situation with Wyla.
Oh yeah, you explained to Disrael that Wyla seems to have been sort of half possessed, though she managed to resist part of it. There's certainly some sort of fiendish entity encroaching on her mind. Disrael's kind of silent for most of it, as she just kind of listens quietly. And doesn't say much at all. But soon you arrive at the base of the witch's tower, and well, I suppose just head inside.
Mhm.
Very well. You kind of try the door and find it locked, and then you knock and call out, and then you hear sort of a slightly weak, almost trembling voice from behind say, "Ah, you again. Come in. Come in."
Okay.
And then you hear a resounding click, and the door opens to allow you entry.
Oh.
At the end of the table, Wyla sits almost in the exact position you left her. She's kind of slumped slightly in the seat. You can still see that horn sprouting from one part of her forehead. And her other eye also enveloped in red.
Start walking over. How are you feeling, Wyla?
I've been better.
Have you noticed a difference in the last hour or so?
As you walk up to her, she says, "Careful, but not too close. You remember."
Mhm.
And you can see her kind of with her good hand, kind of gripping the hand that is on the side of the horn. I've been mostly the same since you left. Still the loud voice in my head. It doesn't let me sleep.
It's still there.
It hasn't left. But a short time ago, it has quieted some. The ache in my head no longer throbbing and unbearable.
Okay. We did close the portal.
I see you've closed the Hellgate, then perhaps that was what weakened its presence. The area around here no longer connected directly to the infernal circles, and thus the tether is weakened.
Right, but you still hear something.
Yes, whatever creeps through my mind has not left me.
I'm going to look up to Zara to see if there's any reaction from them.
He's just looking at you expectantly.
Israel, do you have any idea about this?
Israel's just kind of been watching from the far side, but as you speak to her, she walks a little closer, kind of along the same path that you did. And she just kind of inquisitively tilts her head left and right, staring at Wylo. It's certainly possession. Though far stranger than I've ever seen. It was privy to many... She pauses, thinking of a word. Lectures. No, perhaps rants from Adrahasis about possession. He was obsessed with it. And from what I gather, this one is certainly incomplete. She stares again at Wylo. This Hylic, and then she kind of catches herself. This and then she just kind of doesn't find the word. And then she turns kind of directly to Violet. You are odd. By all means, the fiends inside you should have taken your mind already. You let them in. Violet, you see Violet kind of glance at you guys. I did allow the voices in. it seemed important at the time. Then by all means it should have taken you then and there. The fact that you are still at least half yourself means that you're like no other mortal that I've ever seen. Though I will admit, that is few.
Is there anything that can be done for this, or?
You're her, Kaj.
Hmm?
You're her. You couldn't do it last time because it was strong. You should be able to do it now. Right?
I can try again, but I need Runica here again as well. Just to be sure. Did I tell you what happened last time, Zara?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, if Runica wasn't there last time, we might have had an entirely different issue.
Dizzer kind of like paces around you, Kaj, to get a little closer to Wyla. And she kind of pauses as she was about to sort of lean in toward Wyla, and then she kind of pauses and then looks at the two of you, almost as if she's awaiting approval.
Wyla, is it okay if Disrael gets a closer look?
I suppose, just careful. And she kind of, you see Wyla grip the one hand that's sort of clenching the chair with with kind of sharper fingernails. You see her grip that hand tighter.
Don't hurt her, Disrael. We got her into this.
I have no intent to harm anyone. Disrael leans in to kind of the devil side of Wyla, the side with the horn and the warped eye. And she leans so close that she can just sort of like whisper into that side's ear. And so her voice is so soft that you can't even hear it. Kaj, you can make a perception check. 02. You can make one too. You're both here. Oof. Well, you're farther away, so it makes sense. Kaz, you just sort of make out.
Dice.
You just sort of make out like the softest word as Disrael asks, "Who are you?" In the sort of fiend half of Wyla. And you see that hand, the one that Wyla's gripping tightly, just begin to like thrash under Wyla's kind of vice grip that she's got on it. You can see the fingers kind of stretch and reach as best they can toward Disrael. And then Disrael kind of straightens back up again, and then looks at the two of you and says, "The fiend inside this one is no small entity. If you're going to attempt to purge it from her body, now would be the time when the tether's weak. Otherwise it may regain its strength, if allowed to fester."
I can't wait for Runica. She's probably going to need to sleep for at least a day.
I have magic. Is that helpful?
Disrael actually kind of thinks for a moment and says, this process may be damaging to the host's body. If you are able to lessen that, it may help.
Okay. So we have to do this now, is what you're saying?
I would not risk waiting. The fiend inside her grows stronger by the minute.
Okay.
It would not reveal its name to me.
Wyla, we're gonna try again. Is that alright?
Yes, I think that's for the best. It is noticeably weaker than it was before. So I think if we are to try, and if your kind of stares at Disrael for a moment, if your friend here is right, then I'd rather not wait.
Okay. Sir, can you handle whatever happens to her physically?
I'll try.
You can do it. Alright, so I'll attempt another exorcism.
Very well. Yeah, you approach from behind Wyla, where her arms can't reach you if they were to be loosed. And you channel your holy magic into her with an attempt to bless. And once more, you sort of focus in on the very essence, the very source of Wyla, which is that that pale, kind of silvery moon. And as you focus in on it, you again feel that unholy presence, something lurking, something sort of watching you as you cast. And as you focus in on that moon and it comes into full view of your mind's eye as you shut your eyes tight, you can see the sort of blood red crescent begin to spread across the moon, though it has shrunk from where it was before. Waned slightly from its old position. And so you focus instead on the unholy presence and attempt to purge it. And as you sort of stare at this this silver and red moon, you get the feeling that it's more like an eye watching you. As you stare into it, it stares back. And so make a religion check for me.
Okay. Come.
He's gonna. Zera's gonna be like, "You got this too," and cast bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
No.
Okay. That's a D6.
Four?
I think it's a 6. It goes to a D8 at a higher level, but it's 6 for now, I believe.
Okay.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Oh.
Almost.
All right. With a 13 on your religion check, you focus in on that unholy entity, and you feel it stare back at you, and it sort of blooms in anger. It sears you as you feel that same heat, almost the same heat as when you traveled through the Hellgate, begins to fill your body. Zera, you see Kaj kind of scrunch up his eyes tighter, almost like he just had like a thunderclap migraine hit him. And then you see Wyla's entire body kind of tense up. You can see her muscles flex and strain. And you can see The arm that she's kind of gripping so that it doesn't move has like buried its fingernails into the wood of her chair. And it is gripping it so hard that the fingernails are starting to bleed and crack from the pressure. And she is kind of almost starting to rip the shoulder right out of its socket, almost dislocating her shoulder.
Okay.
What do you do, Sarah?
He's just gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Very well.
Or he's gonna just reach out and try and like, yeah. Well, he's gonna reach out and do Cure Wounds.
Yeah, as the tension kind of rises, and you see Wyla's kind of half of her body begin to sprout these wounds. You begin to patch them up as soon as they arrive, casting Cure Wounds to erase them. Her fingers no longer bleeding, her shoulder no longer wrenching from the socket. And you see Wyla kind of close her eyes to where she was once obviously racked with pain. She kind of, as you cure her, has a more like peaceful, stony calm to her face. So roll again, Kaj, on religion, but with advantage because Wyla's now helping you.
Okay. And yeah, I'll say while I'm looking into the eye, I'm trying to recall what the bodies of Adrastus and Osra looked like after we were done with them and kind of project that towards the eye.
Mm-hmm. All right, you roll once more and you get a 14. So, as you push back and send that image in your mind's eye of the bodies of Adrastus and the other one, what they looked like when they were purged, that burned silhouette, and the presence that's inside Wyla doesn't respond with fear. It responds with anger, and it sears you. And as it sears you with this brilliant, unholy, awful red light, you feel as if you were just set on fire. Not a comforting fire like you're used to, but just pain from every nerve in your body. Zero, as you glance towards Kaj, you see burns begin to sprout across his face, his very clothing starting to catch with embers. What do you do, Zero?
He's just gonna be like, Kaj, hang in there. You've got this. And do another bardic inspiration, but that's all he's gonna do.
Very well. One more roll, Kaj. With advantage since Wyla's still here.
Okay.
But this is your last shot.
Oh no.
Fuck.
Damn the D6.
All right. Then you give one last push to try to oust the fiend from Wyla's body. And as you push back against it, you feel it swell and burn at you again. And so this time, as it burns you, not only does your clothes catch flame, but you're going to take 25 fire damage. As instantly Kaj just sort of bursts into flames. And so too does Wyla, as a second horn sprouts from her forehead. And Kaj, you stumble back, kind of knocked away from her. Zero, this light and this flame burns at you too and kind of forces you to step back. Diziril immediately hops back and draws her sword. And then, with one last look at Wyla, she teleports out of the room. Leaving the three of you alone.
Zero's immediately going to walk out of the place.
So Kaz, you collapse back. You are covered in burns now. You sort of roll and pat your clothes out,
Mhm.
but still feel the burns covering your body. Disrael just kind of stares down at you. She doesn't make any attempt to like help you up or anything like that, but she just kind of stares down at you and says, "Are you injured?"
It's fine.
That fiend, that presence, it was not one I'm familiar with. No fiend that I've ever met, though it was certainly powerful.
It took Wyla.
Yes, though I'm not sure where. Though I am not certain of this Wyla's capabilities. I'm not certain if the disappearance was the body or the mind, if you understand my meaning.
Mm-hmm. One more we have to find.
Yes, as one who knows fiends well, the creature, the entity inside your Wyla had no goodwill toward this plane.
It's on me then. Let's go back. Thank you for trying.
Disrael kind of stands and stares at the the cinders on the floor that Disrael and your burns have left behind. She just kind of lingers for a moment as you walk off, and just kind of stares at them, and then kind of hurries to catch up. And so the three of you are attempting to go regroup then with the others? Very well.
Actually, Zero's not gonna be there.
Okay, where are
He's
you
just
headed?
wandering around.
Wandering?
Yep, he's probably gonna just wander into the forest for a while.
Very well. Then Kaj, you and Disrael make your way back to the church. And as you kind of glance around, you can't find Zero. But as you arrive back at the church with Disrael, you find the others kind of scattered throughout, just kind of resting in the church on the pews. Runica is passed out. But you see all of their attention turned towards you as you enter.
I'm just gonna head to one of the pews and take a seat.
You take a seat, and then Pavlova kind of like You catch her like looking at you for a moment, and then she kind of tentatively makes her way over to you and says, "Is everything all right? You said you had something else to take care of, yes?"
Yes, but it was a failure on my part.
Oh, what happened?
Wireless gone.
Gone. Then, well, before you mentioned that there was some sort of possession, yes? Am I correct?
Right. We tried to take the chance to complete the exorcism since the gate is closed, but I couldn't do it alone.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't your fault. You did say that it was a powerful being that was possessing Wiley, yes?
Yeah.
I'm sure you did everything you could. It's not as though you wanted this to happen, yes?
I've got to be able to do more than this, though.
She kind of like stares for a moment at the front of the back of the pew in front of her, and kind of thinks and says, "Well, we can
Thanks,
just add it
Pav. I know you're trying to make me feel better. It's okay.
I just think that, well, we'll add it to our list of problems to solve then, right? Together."
Together.
And she sits next to you and kind of stays quiet, not really sure what to say, but she doesn't leave. As you kind of sit there, you realize Israel has not followed you into the church. She followed you to the door, but she didn't enter.
Gosh, where's Israel?
I'm just gonna motion towards the door.
Well, that's not gonna work. If I go outside and see Diz, she's just like hanging out by the door.
Oh yeah, she's standing in the doorway. She just hasn't entered.
You want to come in?
I don't think I can.
What, do you think you're gonna like eviscerate if you do?
She like reaches out one of her hands past the threshold of the doorway, and you just immediately see like burns spread across her hand, and she jerks it back.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Yikes, that's going to make things kind of difficult for me. Alright, well. Okay. Well, I'll have to find a place for you. Probably stay at like the hotel or something.
Ah, yes, the hotel.
You're in the woods, shush.
I see. Well, it's not as though I need lodgings, per se. But I can't join you in these premises, at the least.
Good. Alright, well, just wait here, I guess. We'll figure something out. And make sure they're all okay.
Very well. She stands exactly where she was currently standing. Doesn't move.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a problem.
Yeah.
You know how we're comfortable being in the church? Well, Diz isn't. Kinda like get all toasty.
Right. Do we have anywhere else to stay?
A hotel? That's about the best I can think of.
The inn from before?
Yeah, I guess. Oh, how did thing go?
I'm gonna like move my hands up and kind of show off the burns. Not well.
Wow. Is it like no more attempts can be had, or what's
She's
the-
gone.
What, she's dead?
No, like disappeared before our eyes gone.
The fuck? How the hell does that work? What?
The way Disrael puts it, whatever was inside her is different, strong.
Oh. Great. It's so exciting to hear. Okay, well, we'll have to figure out how to get her while we figure out the path, I guess. Oh. He'll be alright though. We'll get them back.
Yeah.
Think of it like a test trial to get Tibber back. If we can get her back, we can get Tibber back.
You're right. I don't know where Zeri went. They didn't come with us.
Of course they didn't. They're probably being somber and kicking rocks, being all sad and shit. They'll be fine. Let's worry about them if they don't come back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go try and find a place to stay for Diz while we let people rest.
Right.
Okay. Bye. And it's kind of like awkwardly leaves.
Yeah, so you're making your way back outside.
Wait. Yes, museum.
Yeah, you return to the door and Disrael's standing exactly where she was before, as you told her to wait.
All right. Thanks for waiting. Let's go find you a place to. Do you sleep? Do you like take naps? What do you do?
Naps?
Yeah. Do you get tired? Close your eyes and stop, like, doing stuff. Or are you one of
Cocks
the-
your head at you again. As an Arinia, I'm a tireless guard in the armies of the Infernal.
Oh my god, that sounds exhausting. Alright, well, first thing we're gonna do here is teach you how to take a fucking break. But we gotta find you a place to do said thing. So let's go to the hotel first, I guess. The tavern, sorry, tavern. That's the word I'm looking for. Guess we'll start heading that way.
Yeah, so there's two technically taverns in town because they established that other one. So it's up to you if you want to go to the one that was actually a tavern or the fishery that was turned into a makeshift tavern.
Would it even have been enough time for them to actually, like, reset the original tavern?
You estimate probably not. A lot of the stuff was moved around in that old building. But it's also not soon enough for them to have turned it back into a fishery, so you imagine that one of them is probably still a half tavern, half barracks, and one of them's still a half tavern, half fishery.
Okay, well, guess we'll just go to the newest tavern. We'll start there.
So the fishery then.
Yeah, we'll go to the fishery.
Cool. Yeah, you make your way back through town. to the ocean. And as you kind of make your way across the pier, let me just see what's on that map. It's been a while. Disro kind of follows dutifully behind you, not really saying much as you walk. But as you travel into the fishery district and past the pier, you can see people kind of bustle about here and there, going about their work. You can see some of the fishing boats out, kind of far along the horizon, dotting the horizon. Work kind of returning to the town of Tradewater that had been at a bit of a standstill while the Revolutionary Army was present.
Do I have a cloak on me by chance? Wearing one.
Yeah, sure. I think kind of within your traveling clothes.
Great. I'm just gonna make sure she's wearing that so we don't scare people.
Fair enough. Sure, her eyes are pretty ominous.
She's kind of spooky.
Yeah, some of her clothing also seems to almost like fade straight into feathers, as if it's all just a part of her.
That's cool.
She's a little bit very, very obviously not human. But you hand her the cloak and she kind of just takes it and just stares at it for a sec, and then you explain how to put it on, and then she wears it. And she says, "This is an odd vestment. Is it armor?"
No, not really. I mean, sort of. Sure. Yeah, actually, kind of is. But it's more of like a secretive armor, or a kind that you wear to conceal.
Oh, I
But
see.
it does protect you, sure. Yeah. It's a good
Your
way to
kind
look
would not look fondly on the presence of myself, I suppose.
Nope, nope, definitely not. You would absolutely cause panic. So it's probably best to be a little more discreet or protective. Better be more protective with your image. We'll figure something else out so you don't have to always look in shadows. But you'll have to probably do something of the sort.
She kind of thinks for a moment and says, "I suppose causing a panic would be a preferred response than how my kind would treat yours."
Yeah, you know how your kind gets super excited and stuff when it's like, oh, fresh meat, raw. Yeah, it's the same, but it's a lot more panicky and less excitement.
Yeah, as you walk through the square with her and explain that, she actually kind of like almost drifts away from you slightly for the first time. She's been kind of following rather obediently, but she kind of drifts away when she sees the water, and she just points out at it, looks at you, and goes, "What's that?"
Oh, there's an ocean. It's a really like massive amount of body of water. Be very careful. You could die and stuff like that, you know.
Really?
Yeah. It's impressive. A lot of things we don't know about the sea, but people go on it all day, all the time, and they'll just go explore or fish. Kind of depends on the needs of the masses.
She sniffs the air for a moment and says, "It smells of salt."
It's the water, salt water.
In the water.
Yeah, you wanna go take a taste? Here, come on, let's go explore. Man, is this what it feels like for Tibber and them? Jesus. and I'll get a cup or something and mage hand it to reach down if I can't do it with my own hand. And get
Yeah, it's a little
bit
bit of ways down. You'd have to mage hand the cup down there, but you pull some water back up and kind of offer it toward her. And she sort of just dips one finger in it and like almost reflexively recoils and says, "It's cold."
Yeah, that's water. Also, it's gonna taste really weird. So just a heads up on that.
Well, I imagine it'll taste of salt, but the most that I'd ever seen of salts was, well, when they would use them to rub in the wounds of the prisoners. She says that flatly with no expression on her face.
We'll have to work on your speech a little bit. It's gonna scare some people.
Really?
But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you know. Work in progress. That's all right. Things to learn while you're here. No big deal. Right. Let's go get you a place to go to. Ah, shit. I need to talk to fucking Stray later. Damn it.
Yeah, she turns to follow you, and you just kind of hear her muse, just, the air around here, it's so light, as she walks.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking sauna. Pretty nice, huh?
She doesn't confirm either direction, she just says, it's strange.
That's a fair response.
You're not there. So yeah, you make your way into
Making my way.
the Fishery Tavern, where you can see a couple people milling about. Some of them are carrying kind of crates of stuff and moving furniture about as they kind of move some of the tavern tables out of the way and make more room for crates full of fishing supplies. And but some people are still sitting about. You can see a few people who are kind of wearing like partially disassembled armor. Perhaps some of the reserves of the Revolutionary Army, no longer wearing their full sets of armor. Just kind of milling about. Some of them helping carry furniture around and sort of reassemble the building back into a fishery, but some of them just kind of sitting and drinking and talking. Dizio kind of stares at you as she follows you in and says, "This building is for drinking, yes? Bacchus had a building where he would drink."
Yeah, this one's little makeshift for different needs, but I mean, essentially, yeah, there's drinking here for sure. What kind of, do you are you familiar with the kind of drinks that we have? Like our kind of drinks?
I don't imagine so.
Well, I would be doing Tibber a disservice if I didn't make you try one, so
Back when I was a member of the Prince's Erinyes, we would always, after a good slaughter, we would drink blood from the victims.
Yeah, sure. If you ever talk to strangers, maybe refer to that as wine. Yeah, don't use the word blood.
Very well. I can do that.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you hail over the tavern keep, and she kind of finishes what she's doing and then bustles over and says, "Can I help you?"
Is there Are there any rooms available still, or is that no longer a service?
Oh,
here?
well, most of the folk either fled town or were with the Revolutionary Army and are still slowly making their way back, so there's still some rooms available, yes. And well,
Great.
she kind of trails off. We had a bit of a vacancy recently. Open up.
All right. Well, we don't want to. I don't want to take up too much of your space, but I'll take some of the beds for now. Just 2 beds. Maybe
Very
for
well.
like 3 days, maybe more later.
All right then. 2 gold per day. More if you want meals included.
We'll get back to the goal, the food portion. See about that.
Very well. You
teleport.
can decide later, and pay for your
Okay.
meal when you're hungry.
Sure, sure. What was it? Is it silver for a pint?
Aye.
All right, we'll take one of those as well. 2 of those, pardon.
Very well. I'll have that with you in just a second. And
6
she,
gold, 2 silver.
yeah, she scoops the money off, tucks it into the pocket on her apron, and then bustles over to go pour some pints of ale. And just a few minutes later, she plops the flagons down and says, "Cheers, then,"
Cheers.
and then hurries off to go help the other patrons.
All right, this is a beer or a pint.
She stares at it. I see.
So you'll grab it like this, and usually with these, people
Well, I do
tend
know how to drink things.
Oh, okay, okay. Do you know how to cheers too?
Like a celebratory gesture.
Sure.
I suppose. You see her kind of glance around at the other people in the tavern. You see one of them just kind of like smack his buddy over the back, and then she just immediately smacks you over the back and says, "Was that right?"
Sure. I mean, that's one way to celebrate. Think something like here, raise your pint a little bit, like help her lift it and raise it with it, it's equal level, and it's like, all right, to surviving where we came from and to new experiences ahead for both of us. Cheers.
Yeah, she kind of taps her glass against yours and says, "Very well then. To surviving."
Hit the table and I chug the whole thing because it's a depressing as day.
Yeah, she watches you do that and then does the same. And as she wipes her mouth, she just kind of like blinks and says, "The taste was odd."
Yeah, it gets better the more you drink. Well, we should probably start heading back for now. Just make sure everyone's okay, and then we'll properly get to explore. Let you see what the world has in store.
I see. Very well. And you stand up with her, and as you kind of walk towards the door, she says, "Where did your..." And then she kind of pauses and fumbles for the word. "Friend? Is that the word? Where did your friend go?"
Which one?
The long-haired one.
Huh? Long hair. What, Kosh? Ruva?
Mm.
Zara? Who?
Yes, Sarah.
Oh. I don't know. They get pretty moody and just kind of like saunter off sometimes. I don't know. They probably write in their journal or something.
I see. I suppose I understand solitude, at least.
Yeah, they're kind of particular, and I don't imagine they like not getting to sacrifice themselves. They got this weird complex about atoning for things by punishing themselves. It doesn't make any sense.
most mortals that I've seen resist being sacrificed. But you all seem to have wanted to. I'm afraid I don't understand it.
Hmm. Part of it has to do with our bond. I mean, we've known each other since we were just wee lads. And gal, I guess, for what we thought. But I mean, that's all we really knew for quite some time, is each other. So it's pretty easy when you care for somebody in a positive manner for so long. Um, but we all genuinely just want to help others, and if it means ourselves, it's worth it. If more people can be helped.
She stares at you a little blank-eyed. She nods, but you get the sense that she didn't quite understand.
It might make sense later. Well, okay. Think about your relationship with with the prince, right? So you would lay your life on the line for him, right?
I suppose that was my duty. I was one of the soldier.
Right. So it's the same for us, but it's not something that is duty bound. It's something chosen. So just like you're making your own choices to go look at water and stuff, and you're allowed to go do things, and we build on trust, right? Um, you can do more stuff. That choice to do whatever you want within reason of understanding of consequences and stuff. Um, when you make a choice to save someone because of that, it's more, there's more weight to it.
Yeah, she furrows her brow as though she's like calculating some sort of difficult equation. And she sort of like stares at the ground for a good minute as you kind of finish what you were saying. And then she looks back up at you and says, "Then your friend Tibber, he chose to stay because of this bond of trust. And he chose to trust you all to find a way to save him. Is that correct?"
Yeah, that sums it up fairly well. You catch on fairly fast.
Then I suppose in a sense it is transactional in a way, all the same. Just in a rather strange and unfamiliar way.
Sure. A lot less calculating the odds and the gains, right? It's not looking for that so much as focusing on the outcome. Like that doesn't sound right. Yeah, I mean just not focusing on what you gain and what you lose. That's just the biggest difference. Yeah, you'll figure it out as we go.
Yes, I'm afraid perhaps it's still a little beyond me, but perhaps if I follow you all around longer, maybe eventually I will understand.
Sure.
And so you make your way out of the tavern with Israel. So you are heading, what, back to the church?
Yeah, we'll just head back.
Very well. I think we will call the session there for now, since we're over 3 hours. but we're definitely not done. So we will be coming back and continuing this next time.
Imagine if we just ended there. That'd be pretty good. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
Figure it
The
out for
end.
yourself.
So we're gonna have some stuff to consider, and not all of this will be able to be instantly resolved in one more session, as it will be looking ahead to the future instead. So there are some things that we need to consider. Let's head over here. You'll have to let me know what your plans are, and then we'll work within those. So, Zara, you got to think about what are you off doing, and if you're going to return to the party for next time. Then I also need to know, just from Tibber, give me a general summary of what Tibber would immediately go do after he sees the Hellgate close and finds himself stranded. Need a summary of that.
Okay.
Just kind of like what would be your first attempt at what you're gonna go do. Like, how would
Yep.
you attempt to spend your first day in hell? And we will do, I suppose, probably an epilogue next time, because we won't be able to resolve all of these plot threads immediately. But I mean, I have always planned for there to be more of this campaign, so I guess we're just gonna have to come back.
Yay.
We're gonna have to resolve this thing with Wyla and this thing with Tibbs. So we're gonna have to do some more. But I will have to take a bit of a break to do some writing for it, because I have as I was writing this one, I did plan out a lot of different like kind of general concepts for endings, and this was sort of one of them. But it's gonna need to plan out some future stuff as well. So we'll have to take a bit of a break from the Silver Song Gang for a bit. But I will write up the next part, and then I guess we'll return.
We all agree this is the darkest timeline, right?
No, I
We
don't.
could have all
I
gotten
would
stuck
say
there for
no.
sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's
We could have
true.
all died.
You could have all been stuck there. You could have TPK'd and let the invasion happen.
Oh, that's
I mean,
true.
there was an entire future scenario where you guys were fleeing Middlemere because it was burning to the ground. I had planned for that scenario, so
Oh my
um,
god.
that could have been a potential season 3, was you guys trying to retake Middlemere. So this is going to be a different one. But that was one thing that I did have in mind as one of the endings, as one of the bad ends. So I won't say that this is the worst timeline, but it's probably not the best one either. But we take what we're given and we move forward.
Mhm.
That's all we can do. Something that you guys each need to think about is what you're going to do kind of after the epilogue. The epilogue will probably not be fully resolving everything just because we're going to be coming back, right? But you should kind of come up with a plan for your character going forward. And then I think the intent is once your epilogue is over, the next time we return to this gang, it will be caught up with the timeline.
Oh,
Oh,
So we'll-
shit.
Oh
Yeah.
god, so we're
So you
gone
guys-
for like
Uh-oh.
So we're gonna have
How
a
many
bit
years?
of a no, it's just a year. It's just a year, but it'll be a year skip in which you guys sort of prep to find Tibbs and Wylo. And so you can decide how you want to spend that time. As we time skip, you can do any redesigns and changes that you need. Tibbs, you're gonna be out of the campaign for a bit, so you can try to write a new character if you want.
I was gonna
Um,
ask, do you want me to make
like-
like a new character?
Yeah, you can make a new character that you sort of work with until they find Tibbs if you want. And then voice 2 of them for a little bit while they
Okay.
kind of do that. Just give them a motivation that they would want
And
to deal
Tibbs-
with hell stuff, and then
Then
you'll
Tibbs
get along
kills
with
the
the
other
party.
guy. because he was in hell too
He
long.
kills Tib.
That
This
guy
is my
kills
plan to have a
Tibbs,
new
that'd be so
character all
funny.
along.
So yeah, think
Oh,
of a
that'd be
character that would
hilarious.
think of a character that would not only just gel well with the party, but have a similar motivation and would kind of align goals with the party, and then just kind of work a new character in, and we'll find a way to introduce them when we come back. So those are all things to think about for between now and when we do the epilogue, which I guess I will ask now then, does anything interfere with next week?
All
Nope.
good.
Nope.
I'm good.
Very well. Then if it works for everybody, then we'll come back next week and do our epilogue. So it is worth thinking this week about all those things that I said, kind of how you want your epilogue to look, as well as how you want your character to kind of move forward in that time skip, where you kind of have a bit of a research training arc. Yeah, so think of how that looks for your character. You guys can split up again if you want. You can stay together. It's up to you guys. So yeah, think of how that looks for your character, and then let me know so that I can kind of set that up and help work that into the epilogue, so that you each kind of have a path to go on for the ending. So yeah, when you have the
Sounds
ideas,
good.
send them to me. Even if it's just stream of consciousness, just send me a couple ideas and bounce them off me. It doesn't have to be some big long written paragraph where you have it all sorted, but feel free to just bounce ideas
Oh.
off me. And
What?
and
Give me
yeah,
shit.
we'll return next week and we'll kind of tie together some threads and then look forward to the future threads. And yeah, that's where we will leave it for tonight. It was quite a session, but I think we all knew it would be.
Had to happen.
Had to happen. So that's where I will leave you all tonight. Go and watch Seraphim play Voices of the Void, because we are all finished here tonight.
Thank you for DMing.
Thank you for playing, players, and chat. Thank you for watching. It's always a lovely time, even if sometimes we have sad moments. So we will pick things back up again next time, and we'll look forward to the future with a bit of hope gleaming in our eye.
Womp, womp, womp.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for watching, and take care. I will
Good
see you guys
night.
on Wednesday.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat.